Woodrow Tracy Harrelson was born on July 23, 1961, in Midland, Texas, to parents Diane Lou and Charles Voigt Harrelson. Woody's childhood was marked by tragedy and complexity. His father, a professional hitman, was imprisoned for murder when Woody was only 7 years old, leaving him and his two brothers to be raised by their single mother. Despite this traumatic start, Woody would eventually channel his family's difficult past into a successful acting career. His love for theater blossomed at Hanover College in Indiana, where he pursued a degree in theater arts. After college, Woody Harrelson moved to New York, where he landed small roles in theater productions before scoring his big break on the television sitcom Cheers. In 1985, Woody joined the cast as Woody Boyd, a lovable bartender with a sweet disposition. He quickly became a fan favorite, earning multiple Emmy nominations and even winning the award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. With the success of Cheers, Woody's career took off, and he soon transitioned from television to film. His first major role came in the 1991 comedy Doc Hollywood, but it was his performance in White Men Can't Jump, alongside Wesley Snipes, that truly showcased his potential on the big screen. In the 1990s, Woody Harrelson became known for playing daring and complex roles. In Natural Born Killers, he took on the role of a violent outlaw, cementing his status as a Hollywood bad boy. He pushed the envelope even further with The People vs. Larry Flynt, a performance that earned him his first Academy Award nomination. Woody took on a wide range of roles, including a memorable performance in No Country for Old Men and his return to television in True Detective, which received critical acclaim. While Woody was busy building his career, his personal life was also evolving. In 1985, Woody married Nancy Simon, daughter of playwright Neil Simon. Woody's marriage to Nancy Simon was more of a spontaneous decision than a carefully planned union. In fact, it started as something of a joke between the two. Woody and Nancy got married in Tijuana, intending to annul the marriage the next day. However, due to the legal processes required, they ended up staying married for about 10 months before finally making the split official. The relationship wasn't based on a deep romantic commitment, and Woody and Nancy understood that they weren't a perfect match. Their quick decision to marry and the eventual annulment was more indicative of their light-hearted approach to the situation rather than any major issues in their relationship. Woody would later meet Laura Louie, a former assistant and the love of his life. The two married in 2008 and have been together ever since. Woody and Laura have 3 daughters, Denny, Zoe, and Makani. Woody is a devoted family man, often describing his wife and daughters as his grounding force. Despite his wild public persona, he takes pride in his role as a husband and father. But Woody's life hasn't always been picture perfect. In the late 1980s, he faced a string of legal issues. Woody was involved in several incidents that led to his arrest. Known for his free-spirited personality, he sometimes found himself in situations that reflected his unconventional approach to life. These incidents often involved minor charges, like disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Although these run-ins with the law didn't result in serious consequences, they did help shape Woody's reputation as something of a Hollywood maverick who didn't shy away from controversy. In 1996, Woody Harrelson made headlines with a very public and deliberate act of civil disobedience. He traveled to Lee County, Kentucky, and planted 4 hemp seeds as a symbolic protest against the state's marijuana laws. Woody's goal was to challenge the law that didn't differentiate between industrial hemp and marijuana, even though industrial hemp contains minimal THC, the psychoactive compound in marijuana. The stunt was designed to draw attention to what he saw as outdated and restrictive laws. As a result, he was arrested and faced charges for his actions. His arrest brought national attention to the issue and helped spark a larger conversation about the benefits of industrial hemp, particularly for sustainable agriculture and manufacturing. Ultimately, after a lengthy legal battle, Woody was acquitted, but he continued to advocate for the legalization of hemp and marijuana. Woody Harrelson has been an outspoken advocate for cannabis reform throughout his career. His activism in this area goes beyond the 1996 incident. He has openly discussed his views on the benefits of marijuana and the importance of distinguishing it from industrial hemp. As a board member of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, Woody has participated in numerous protests and has used his platform to educate the public on the environmental and economic advantages of hemp production. Woody's activism sometimes put him at odds with the authorities and the media. He has had other minor run-ins with law enforcement related to his outspoken stance on marijuana legalization, including confrontations with paparazzi over his privacy. In one incident in 2008, Woody was involved in a scuffle with a photographer at an airport. He claimed he mistook the photographer for a zombie due to the role he had just completed filming for Zombieland. While this was more of a humorous altercation, it highlighted his ongoing struggle with the media's invasive attention. Woody has been open about his struggles with substance abuse, particularly marijuana and alcohol. Over the years, he's spoken candidly about using these substances to cope with the pressures of fame and his complex family history. Woody Harrelson's father, Charles Void Harrelson, was a notorious figure with a dark past that deeply affected Woody's childhood. Charles Harrelson was a contract killer convicted of several murders, the most infamous being the 1979 assassination of federal judge John H. Wood, Jr. This marked the first assassination of a federal judge in the 20th century, and Charles received a life sentence for the crime. Prior to this, he had been involved in organized crime, working as a hitman for various clients and getting entangled in criminal activities that ultimately led to multiple imprisonments. For much of Woody's life, Charles was absent, serving time in prison. The relationship between them was understandably complicated. While they didn't have regular contact during Woody's formative years, Woody did make efforts to reconnect with his father later in life. Despite his father's criminal background, Woody visited him in prison several times and has spoken about their relationship in interviews. He described their relationship as difficult, but maintained a level of compassion and curiosity about his father's life.
It's fairly well known, if anybody's read anything about you or talked with you, that when you were 7 years old, your father went off to prison, convicted of murder. Tell me how you feel today, what the story is today.
Well, he is in prison right now for the killing of a federal judge. I think that it was not a fair trial, especially because the guy who supposedly hired my father to commit the murder was later acquitted on a retrial.
Woody, do you think your father is innocent of that second murder? That's what I've heard.
I'm not saying my father's a saint, but I think he's innocent of that, yeah.
Are you trying to have the case opened up, trying to have it investigated, trying to set him free?
Well, let's put it this way. I haven't given up hope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said once that you thought that your father was a CIA operative. Yes?
Yeah, he was.
How do you know? What proof?
See, I shouldn't get into this right now.
Okay.
This is where we're going to get into trouble.
But this is something that you feel and that you're trying to work on?
Oh, I know it's true, but, you know.
Does it make a difference?
That he was trained by the CIA?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it makes a difference.
Charles Harrelson remained in prison until his death in 2007. Woody has shared that he struggled with mixed emotions about his father's actions and his family's legacy. Although the nature of his father's crimes created a significant distance between them, Woody has expressed a desire to understand his father's choices and the impact they had on his own life. His father's criminal past has undeniably shaped Woody's worldview and added a layer of complexity to his public persona. For Woody, marijuana and alcohol became significant coping mechanisms, particularly during the earlier years of his career. Woody has mentioned in interviews that his difficult childhood, including the impact of his father's criminal background and incarceration, left him with emotional scars. Growing up without a consistent father figure, along with the sudden surge of fame following his role on Cheers, put considerable stress on his personal life. This stress was amplified by the demands of Hollywood and the attention of the public eye. Woody has often talked about how marijuana became a regular part of his life, helping him relax and unwind. In his own words, marijuana provided an escape from the pressures of celebrity and the chaos surrounding his rise to fame. Additionally, alcohol was another substance he turned to for stress relief, particularly during the high-pressure days of his television and film work. He described this period as one of excess, where he indulged in partying, socializing, and enjoying the freedom that his fame afforded him. In more recent years, Woody Harrelson has shifted his lifestyle toward one focused on health and balance. In 2017, Woody revealed that he had quit marijuana after decades of regular use. His decision to stop wasn't based on addiction, as he has mentioned that he never felt addicted in the traditional sense, but rather, he wanted to live with more mental clarity and focus. Woody has also spoken about how his decision to quit was influenced by his family, particularly his wife, Laura Louie. Laura, whom Woody describes as a grounding force in his life, encouraged him to live a healthier lifestyle, both for his well-being and for the sake of their family. Woody often credits Laura for helping him achieve a sense of stability, balance, and self-awareness. Their relationship has been a major part of his ability to step away from substances and adopt healthier habits. Beyond his career and family, Woody is well known for his activism. He has been a vocal advocate for environmental causes, often participating in protests and supporting eco-friendly initiatives. Woody has also supported various humanitarian causes, including disaster relief efforts and organizations focused on social justice. Woody's work with organizations such as UNICEF and his support for indigenous rights are highlighted. While his activism has sometimes landed him in hot water, Woody remains undeterred, continuing to use his fame to shine a light on the causes that matter to him. After decades in the industry, Woody Harrelson shows no signs of slowing down. His roles in films like Zombieland and 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri have only added to his legacy. Woody's performance in True Detective marked a return to television, and he continues to take on challenging roles that push his limits. Today, Woody Harrelson continues to thrive in Hollywood, all while staying true to the passions that have defined him. Whether he's taking on bold new roles or advocating for environmental causes, Woody remains a vibrant force in the industry. With a career that spans decades and a family life centered around his wife, Laura, and their 3 daughters, Woody seems to have found a balance between the public and private that works for him. His life today is a blend of activism, creativity, and cherished family moments, a testament to his growth and resilience in an ever-evolving world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Woody Harrelson's incredible journey. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more inspiring stories from Hollywood's most fascinating stars. And let us know in the comments below. What's your favorite Woody Harrelson role? Until next time, keep your head high and your spirits even higher.